Hello, welcome back to another edition of our Simpsons season review. If you haven't seen any of our other videos, please feel free and go and check them out. In this video, we'll be reviewing Season 2, Episode 17, Old Money. And this episode was first aired on March the 28th of 1991.
Now, viewing figures for this episode, they're down from the previous episode, down to 21.2 million.
Still decent for the early Simpsons, but like you say, they start to slightly go down. They're doing better than the later episodes.
Yeah, I think it might just be attributed to the fact that the first series was only 13 episodes. We're now basically onto the 17th episode, so it's starting to get maybe a bit too much for some who feel that the
maybe
series should have been a bit shorter, but still.
I think the references to movies and TV shows later on in the series won't help some of the episodes.
Yeah, but again, this is still, with it being an early series, it's still basically a near enough original storyline anyway. And this one is basically the first one centred around Grandpa.
Yep, and don't forget we have a debut character in this one, Professor Frink.
Yeah, and his death rate. that wonderful invention. But yeah, we also get background, because it's a Grandpa episode, we get background as well on how the family really feel about Grandpa as well.
It's a bit weird how they feel about him, because a great day out at the liquor store.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, amazing.
It's basically, it just sounds like, we've got to take him out, but we can't think of where to take him, so we'll just take him anywhere.
Yep, and then they couldn't get away from him quick enough, so they dropped him off at the retirement castle. Then they couldn't get away from him, just drive off.
Yeah, and then they have the discussion about what they think he smells like. We go through him smelling like an old trunk in the garage, a weird one of a photo store.
Yeah, when I've been in a photo store, I don't feel like I smell like old people.
Yeah. And then maybe the one that's a little bit too much on the nose, Homer's idea. He smells like the hallway in a hospital.
Nice way to say about his dad.
Yeah. But basically, obviously, Marge takes offence to this, and she warns him that he should be more caring about his dad, because it's not setting a good example to the kids. And that's when Homer questions the kids about the fact that, they'd never put him in a retirement home. And you just see Bart thinking about it, which scares Homer to death anyway.
I think Bart would to Homer. I don't think he would to Marge, but to Homer, I think Bart would. I don't know about Lisa, what Lisa would do, but Bart.
Well, yeah, definitely Bart. But yeah, from here they decide that they need to make more time for Grandpa. The third Sunday of every month should be Grandpa Day. So we get back to the retirement castle, and we find Abe being given the wrong pills, even to the fact...
Yeah, he has bees.
Yeah, even to the fact that the person who's giving out the pills doesn't even know his name, calls him Mr. Simmons.
Well, this is the retirement castle. They're not the best caring and compassionate members of staff. They don't seem to care about the old people. They just treat it as go to work, then go home, basically. Because you've seen the state of the retirement castle. I mean, it needs a lick of paint. It needs modernisation. You know, it's not a love and care for the old people.
Yeah, it is just basically a job for
them.
And
they're just after money, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, then get the meeting between B and Abe, and it's basically love at first sight. They're smitten with each other. They then get to the point where they're giving each other the pills, giving them water in a romantic way.
I think it's a bit flirty, would you say?
Yeah. So you can definitely see the chemistry straight away.
And then you talk about family. This is the first episode where he says he's a widower.
Yeah, even though we wouldn't find out till later on in the show that was a lie he told Homer when Homer was young, to spare him the fact that Mona actually had to run away because the police were after her. But it just seems a bit strange with that one.
And in this one, he refers to only having one child. He forgets about Herb. Is this a production error where the episode where Herb was introduced, was that meant to be
the production blocks
after this one?
The production blocks are near enough the same. I think there's like one episode between them, although there's a couple of episodes in between them actually being aired. It's like, I think the Herb episode was the early production block, so maybe they were too close together and they didn't get all the notes together.
Or he just forgot.
Yeah, or forgetting as well. But yeah, so basically we then lead into them going on a few dates, going for dances and feeding ducks and stuff like that, leading up to Bee's birthday.
Which you don't know how old she actually is.
Yeah. But her birthday just happens to coincide with the third Sunday of the month. So Homer comes to pick him up.
Doesn't believe Bee exists because he said he's got a date with Bee. It's her birthday. And he goes, she can come. All your friends can come as well.
Yeah. So basically, we do learn later on in the series that Abe does have a few stories. Some are a bit taller stories. So is this the case if he's told some of these previously, to the fact that Homer's just being like, yeah, it's another one of his tales sort of thing? Or is it just Homer being Homer and
selfish,
not really caring?
Yeah, exactly. Selfish in a way.
So obviously Grandpa doesn't want to go.
He's kicking the seat in the car.
Yeah. Homer makes it 10 times worse by firstly driving into a restricted area at the safari park.
Gets stuck in the mud, gets stuck there overnight with the lions on the car.
Yeah.
And when the discount Lion Safari employee scares away the lions with a shotgun, he says, "Mr. Simpson, I presume," a reference to famous greeting Dr. Livingston, I presume, by Herr Henry Morton Stanley to David Livingston. So, did Homer give out his name when he entered the safari? Was he part of a missing persons?
I know, it does seem a bit strange because there's no one in the family that really reported missing because the entire family's in the car.
Well, Patty and Selma, but...
Well, they wouldn't really care about Homer.
No, I was just going to say that now.
More Marge, if anything.
Yeah.
And if it was a retirement but again, would the retirement castle really care if Grandpa didn't return? Because again, he said in another episode that if he isn't back at the retirement castle by a certain point, he'd collect on his insurance.
Yeah.
So there again, why didn't he collect on his insurance? Because he was away
exactly.
overnight. So again, another little continuity error that they put in. But yeah, they eventually get out after a night of showing a safari park and the car with lions who've been sleeping all over it and chewing the car to pieces.
Then he's dropping back off at the retirement castle. Jasper says to Grandpa that Bee died of heart problems, was it?
Yeah. Grandpa's like, oh, it was a broken heart, basically. But yeah, obviously because Homer drove them into the restricted area and they spent the night there, Grandpa rightfully starts to blame Homer for it.
Yeah, like you say, he's right too. It was Homer's selfishness. Because he did say he's got a date with Bee, it's her birthday. Homer didn't believe him. So he selfishly took him out for the day out. Yeah. And ruined his last chance with the woman he actually liked or loved even. Yeah.
Even to the point of when they're at the funeral, Homer's trying to speak to him and Abe's just like, can you hear something? To the fact that Homer, being as dumb as he is, thinks Grandpa's gone deaf.
Yeah. And then he goes, I have no son.
Yeah. So again, clearly forgetting about Herb again.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just chosen to forget him because of the fact that Homer screwed it up anyway.
Like he does everything else.
Maybe that's another reason for it. Maybe it's the fact that because he's got no money now, it's like he don't really want him as a son. He doesn't care about Homer now, so he don't care about Herb because Herb's penniless.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, Grandpa gets back to the retirement castle, and then we get Lionel Hutz coming in and revealing to him that Bee left him
$106,000.
Yeah, which again, in hindsight, they'd only met, been together for a couple of weeks.
But maybe she had no family. She knew she was dying. Well, she must have known she had a few days or weeks to live. Yeah. So she'd probably changed the will quick to give it to Abe or Grandpa.
Yeah.
Because that's the one she felt comfortable with for her final days.
Yeah. Again, this just gives Grandpa another excuse to hammer home the fact that he doesn't have a son anymore by telling Homer that about the money, but saying you're not getting a penny of it anyway. Obviously, Homer's delighted with this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ends up going back to Herman's because leading up to Bee's birthday, he'd gone into Herman's shop. Basically, he said to him, "You're the only shop I know anyway." And at that point, he saw a fez there, and Herman, being the con artist that he is, said it was Napoleon's fez that he wore on his days off.
Fair play to him, though.
Yeah. But now Grandpa's back to buy it because I think he said, say $400 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, he buys that and leaves his old hat there, and Herman basically then puts Grandpa's hat in the window and puts a sign on it saying it was a hat that McKinley got shot in.
Does that have a price on how much he was selling the hat for?
Not too sure, but I'd imagine it was a price around 400 again. But side note with that, basically from Grandpa now acquiring the fez, he's wearing it basically for the entirety of the rest of this episode. Again, doesn't really happen that often that
No.
headwear gets worn through an episode. Not even Bart wears his lucky red hat through an entire episode, I don't think. That sort of comes and goes. But yeah, just a little side note on that. But yeah, he's bought this hat and now he's just trying to think of ways to spend the money, to the point he ends up at the fair on a roller coaster.
Yeah, with B. It's a ghost.
And this is where he admits that he is missing Homer. And through this conversation, whether it is actually Grandpa really talking to B's ghost or whether it's just Grandpa going a bit crazy, he then agrees that he'll speak to Homer again, and this leads to him having the family meal with them, where he admits that he doesn't know what to do with the money.
And that's where Lisa says, why don't you give your money to people who need it?
Yeah, which then leads to everybody in town basically wanting the money, basically giving the reason why they should have the money.
Even Mr. Burns.
Yeah, but again,
groveling on his knees.
Yeah, but again, that's Mr. Burns. I don't think he wants anybody else to have money. If there's money, he wants it all.
I know he wants it all, exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't like anybody being even close to him.
No.
Money-wise.
Even Mo goes up to him for money. Was it a treasure?
Yeah, he basically says he found this treasure. Well, he found this treasure map that some guy left in the bar. But he's like, well, it could be a map to treasure, or it could be a map to some guy's house. But then he says he needs money for divers.
And he was number one on the list.
Yeah. But yeah, then we lead to Lisa again. She's then she hammers home the fact of that she doesn't deserve the money, and none of the people here deserve it. It needs to go to more needy people.
But she still wants the pony at the end.
Yeah, to the point of where Grandpa's like, "You're right." So Lisa thinks she's getting a pony. Grandpa's like, "No, I mean about the money, about giving it to people who really need it." But again, this leads Grandpa to ponder even further who needs it anyway, more than, well, who are the needy people basically. But he gets to the point where he decides that if he's going to help everybody, he's going to need more money. And this is when Jasper suggests, why don't you come along to the senior gambling retreat that we're having?
I never known you take the old people to gambling.
Yeah, and plus the fact, as we said previously, this retirement castle seems to want to bleed them all dry. Why would he let them go and risk spending it or wasting it all in the casino? Which seems a bit strange and a bit random.
He bets first. He wins.
He wins
on
a
his
small
first
amount.
bet. A small amount on his first bet.
But then the lead up to this, Homer then turns up at the retirement castle because he wants to apologise to Grandpa and tell him that the money isn't the be all and end all. He loves him whether he's got money or not, and that's when he finds out where he's gone. On the way, he decides to stop off at Krusty Burger. Tells them to hurry up, even though it's like, well, you want to order food on the way to stopping Grandpa spending his money.
Homer and food.
Yeah, but leading up to get into the casino, you have Otto driving the bus.
Yeah, and one of them says you're driving too fast.
To the point he's like, well, he threatens them if they don't be quiet, he's going to drive the bus into the river.
But wasn't he wearing headphones? So how could he hear them?
Yeah, another strange one there for the animation.
Because I think he was listening to music, weren't he?
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, well, he's the right person to put in charge of people. Then if you're just gonna try and kill them because he won't shut up. But yeah, we get Homer turning up at the casino just as Grandpa's about to put all his money on one number. He suddenly decides, well, if I'm gonna win big, I'm gonna have to put it on one number to win big.
Yeah, first of all he says put it on 40, that's me lucky number. Then it doesn't go up to 40, goes up to 36, and then he goes put it on 36, that's my lucky number.
But in the meantime, because Homer's turned up, he's trying to stop him, and this is where Grandpa then quotes Rudyard Kipling's If sonnet, and once he's finished, Homer's like, no, you'd be a fool if you lose all your money, basically. So there's a tussle with this, to the point that Homer wins the tussle and stops Grandpa putting all his money on 36.
On double O. But if he did stop him and he actually won, then Grandpa would have been more frustrated and angry with Homer.
Yeah, or on the other hand, if he hadn't stopped him and it landed on 00 and he lost everything, he probably would have been angry with Homer for not stopping him.
Yeah.
So it's just that happy coincidence that he stops him and it landed on a number that would have basically taken all his money.
For once, Homer did something right, which is unusual for Homer.
And the fact it's a bit ironic, the fact that Homer's trying to stop Grandpa from gambling when there's other episodes where Homer will be a gambler.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, Homer wastes more money than anyone.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, you can't really say that he was thinking he could get the money, because he's already said money isn't everything to him. So at the same point, this can go down as Homer actually caring enough for his dad and his wealth, sort of thing. But then we get to the point where Homer asks Grandpa if he's made a decision on who he's going to give the money to, and he
decides to give it to the retirement castle because he wants to give it to his friends who actually need it.
Yeah, so they just basically fit the retirement castle out with better facilities, basically a bigger tally, comfier chairs,
pool table, a restaurant, dining area, is it?
Yeah, the B. Simmons Memorial Dining Room, and yeah, basically it's full circle. Basically, Grandpa's being given money by a resident of the retirement
and he
castle,
gives the money back to them,
and it gets given back. And in a sense, the retirement castle itself get what they wanted all along. They get money even if it wasn't given directly to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the episode as a whole.
Let's talk a bit about bits of the episode. While walking through the slums of Springfield, Grandpa goes to the Nighthawk diner. Homage to the Edward Hopper painting Nighthawks.
Yeah.
Also, with Darth Vader and the Joker can be seen waiting in line as a candidate for Grandpa donating his money. So you got to, like I said before in previous videos, you've got to actually look closely at certain parts of scenes and you'll see different people in the background of episodes.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the cultural stuff that they were doing in the early episodes, sort of thing. So yeah, just like, Darth Vader and the Joker live in Springfield.
Yeah.
Other things from the episode itself. I think that's really
in
bad.
the casino, Grandpa Simpson quotes Rudyard Kipling's.
Yeah, the If sonnet. Again, yeah. You see where he's coming from with that one, but again, it could have backfired on him.
Yeah, it could have done.
But yeah, in a sense, that's really...
Well, another one actually. Abe and B crossing each other's arms while taking their medicine is similar to a scene in the film Tom Jones.
Yeah.
So they're still doing a few referencing films, but not as bad as the later episodes.
Yeah.
As he did.
But moving on to the goose sort of thing with it.
Yeah.
As we say, obviously B dies in this episode, but at the end of the episode, when Grandpa's welcoming them all into the memorial dining hall, if you look closely, you can actually see B is actually among them anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, whether that was an actual error or could that have been intentional, just the fact of, oh, the ghost of B is there with them at the time.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
And yeah, also, when Kent Brockman is walking past the people outside the retirement home, Mayor Quimbley has blonde hair instead of his dark hair. But again,
It's happened in previous episodes.
so yeah, it's mainly continuity with that
Yeah.
one, really.
Anything else for the goofs?
Yeah, there's also one more. Later episode, the two Mrs. Nahesapina Petalons. There's an identical woman named Prudis. So possibly B has a twin, or did she turn into Prudis in the end, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it for the episode.
There's some other bits of trivia. The retirement castle administrator's nose is not properly drawn on the scene where Abe meets B. Just as they discover they have each other's pills, he can be seen as soon as the camera zooms out. So production error, earlier Simpsons. And another one, once Grandpa acquires the fez from Herman's Military Antiques, he is seen wearing it in the major episode. Yeah, we discussed that before.
Yeah. Just backtracking on the whole point of just a strange on there, the fact of something like that's not normally worn.
Yeah.
It's basically there for the entirety. But yeah, I think that's it for the episode itself. Don't think there's much more to add.
No, I don't think there is. No. Let's talk about the positives, negatives of the episode. First of all, negatives. You got to say Homer being selfish, not believing his dad that he had a date with a girl called B. And
just basically the whole thing with Homer from the beginning of the episode, when it's like, yeah, can't take him anywhere decent. They end up taking him to a liquor store, like we said.
Not a very good day out, is it?
Yeah, and like we said, basically just the case of sort of a drop and run with him, just basically dumping him back at retirement castle and then just going off. Yeah, I mean, in a sense, yeah, it's a bad thing, the fact that he was the sole reason that Grandpa wasn't there for B's final hours, and it just basically mainly Homer's attitude towards Grandpa in the early part of the episode.
Yeah.
Other negatives, we hit on it in the review. The staff at the retirement castle.
Yes, the negligence, they're not caring, no compassionate. All they're bothered about is money and clocking off, basically.
Yeah, and in a sense with that, you see the greed of all of Springfield, basically, when Grandpa announced that he's going to be giving the money away. Everybody turns up, it seems, to try and claim this money.
Even Lisa. But Bart weren't there, was he?
I
don't think
possibly
I saw
might have just been.
Yeah, maybe, but I didn't see him. I didn't see him there.
Yeah, there's just a few. It's like, especially like with Dr. Marvin Monroe.
Yeah.
With that invention, and then he's like, "Oh no, the machine's already built. He wants the money to buy a child."
Yeah.
It's like, well, there you go. That's another negative. Dr. Marvin Monroe wants to buy a child to begin with and lock it in this chamber just to prove that after 30 years it's going to resent him.
Which is basically going to be illegal anyway.
It's like, well, why would you even want to do an experiment like that?
I know, exactly.
But yeah, any other negatives?
Well, the main negative is Homer as a whole in the episode, to be honest. But I think that's about the main negative of the episode. So, positives. The main positive, Grandpa gives the money to the people who actually need it, the old people. I think they were trying to get something about this episode where they were saying old people deserve a better way of life, serve people, to give something back to them.
Yeah, just basically old people aren't to be forgotten, basically.
Yeah.
They deserve as much
happiness.
Yeah.
And love than the rest of us.
Yeah. Another positive, just the fact of, Grandpa episode, but he's actually given a little bit of happiness in this episode.
Yeah.
If only for a brief moment. He actually gets... I mean, this is his first chance at love in the series. Obviously, like we say, he had a marriage beforehand, but in the series itself, this is like the first instance of Grandpa being in love. And it, unlike some of the other relationships he was in, it's actually the case of if B hadn't died, then you get the sense of the relationship would have continued, as opposed to all his other ones.
Yeah.
Where they're either fleeting relationships or fleeting marriages that were only there to give him slight happiness. So in a sense, he gets slight happiness, but it's only taken away because B ends up dying in it.
Another positive, Homer realises his mistake and rectifies it at the end when he stops him from spending all his money gambling.
The fact he's not driven by money in the end saves the money so Grandpa can...
So, first of all, Homer's a negative, but then works into a positive at the end of the episode.
You can sort of
Is
look
that
at
first?
Yeah, it's sort of, you can look at it as being a Homer redemption story.
Is that a first, though, in an actual episode?
Possibly. I can't say I remember another one where it's happened.
No.
And again, unlike other ones, the normal Homer redemption story is he's done something to upset Marge and it's retrieving the relationship.
The usual.
But for once, this is a case of the father and son bond between him and Grandpa being salvaged, basically.
Yeah.
Because clearly from this one, it's more the case of it's Homer that's the cause of the problem. In this one, Grandpa doesn't do anything wrong in this episode.
No.
In that sense, he's the one who's taken on a family outing two family outings in this episode, which are both not the first one definitely not up to scratch with the liquor store, but the second one, the safari, they meant well, but it ends in disaster
because it was Homer again.
Yeah, and just the fact that Homer caused the problem by taking away from Bee's last night, Bee's birthday, so resentment comes from that. But just basically redemption for Homer. He stops Grandpa from spending all the money, and it's one of the few episodes where you actually get Grandpa and Homer reconciling at the end, basically. Because I don't think there's many of any other episodes where they really do that.
No,
they may have episodes where they get on, but the normal status quo for that is they get on, but then either they fall out again by the end of the episode, or it's normally Homer is resentful towards Grandpa by the end of the episode. But any other...
the positive is B having the final love in her life, the final days or weeks, whatever it was.
Yeah, because as we alluded to, with the fact of the will, it looks like she knew she didn't have long left. So for her, although it's just a short character that we're seeing for herself, she gets the one final love, and she gets the opportunity to give her money to someone that she cares about in the end anyway.
She felt comfortable with her for dying days or weeks.
Yeah. Any other positives, negatives?
Well, the main positive of the episode was actually, like we said before, Grandpa getting the money to the old people who deserve it. I think that's it, to be honest, unless you can think of any more.
No, that's it.
Yep, if we've missed any positives or negatives about the episode, or there's anything you'd want to add, please put a comment down below.
Like, share, subscribe.
And we'll see you in the next video.